everybody. Welcome back to Vegas Weekly for whatever the heck the day is that it is. The 27th, that's right, September 27th. Recording this on September the 26th. Guess we'll try to put some kind of video together. We're just over 2 weeks out from our trip to Vegas. So thought I'd update everybody on that. So far, so good. Looks like it's still going to happen. Be out there for 4 nights and staying primarily at Planet Hollywood. But I've double booked the first night down at Excalibur to take advantage of some resort credit, free play, and also to I'm going to spend the evening down in that part of the strip anyway, so it seemed like it made sense to my hat's uneven. There we go. To stay down there anyway. So and there's some newly remodeled rooms apparently at Excalibur, so that'll be something different. Not a whole lot of things I could do in terms of MGM or Caesars that would be different from what I had before, although the room type that I'm supposedly booked into at Planet Hollywood is not just the standard ultra hip room or whatever they call it. It's supposed to be sort of the next tier up, so that'll be a little different as well. As I say, no big plans on this trip. Just going to hang out with some friends, enjoy myself. I'm looking forward to a few days break from family togetherness, although I know within the first 12 to 18 hours I'm going to miss mom and little boy, but one of these days we'll bring them along, huh? I can do a special on kids in Vegas. That always goes over well. But in any case, I understand that I'm going to see some of the prep work for the Formula One race, as it's already started. I don't think I've mentioned, well, I'm sure I haven't mentioned because I haven't been doing this show regularly for a while, but I've been getting all sorts of very generous offers from the folks at Caesars. I guess maybe those $40 roulette bets I was making off and on to try to earn tier credits got their attention or something. But one of the offers was 2 tickets to the Formula One race. That's pretty good, and room accommodations. I also have had tickets to Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld at Caesars. I'm trying to think of another example. I think like the rodeo, different things like that. So I don't know. I think I'm going to severely disappoint them with my level of play, but we'll see. Maybe we'll make some of those bets again. Because I will be there during a tier credit multiplier, so I want to try to earn as many points as I can, see if I can get back up to diamond status again. But yeah, I hear they're setting up for the Formula One race, so that'll be a bit of an obstacle. I'll be kind of in that neighborhood, but mostly probably south of it or west of it, I guess. I don't typically spend a lot of time at Bellagio, but I may have to go in there, check out the conservatory and see the fountains if I remember. I've forgotten the last few times I was there to even watch. So, but yeah, so we'll be a little south of that, Planet Hollywood, and probably mostly stick to gambling at the Caesars properties. I do want to go out to Palms because I have some free play and some free food there as well. So might do that on Monday. And then there's a possibility of attending, there's an NBA exhibition game taking place Wednesday night with the Lakers and the Mavs. Right now, tickets look pretty expensive, but ticket sales are not spectacular. So we are hoping maybe those tickets will get a lot less expensive as we get closer to the date and day of. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe even LeBron might make a brief appearance. So that'd be pretty cool. Of course, if the Las Vegas Aces, the WNBA team, make the finals, and play against Minnesota, which would be the number 1 seed, the Minnesota Lynx. And it goes to a game 6. That game 6 would be scheduled the same night as the NBA exhibition. So I don't know exactly how that would work. It looks like they would have to move the WNBA game to another arena. God knows there's enough places to play. They could play at Thomas and Mack or MGM Garden, but we'll see what happens there. I have thought about picking up a ticket to Paranormal, my favorite little known show in Las Vegas that I saw probably now 7, 8, 9 years ago, but thought it was great. I think I could do that for about $30, but we'll see if that works out. Otherwise, I need to use up my $100 Diamond Celebration meal on this trip, because I don't think I'm going to be back any place to use it by the end of January. So maybe we'll do the buffet. I don't know. We'll see. I mentioned last week that I kind of wanted this week to talk about how I plan a trip to Vegas, and that's changed a lot in recent years. It's changed a lot since I got married, and certainly since we welcomed Izzy into the world some 20 months ago yesterday. But as a Vegas nut, the first thing you want to do after you get home from Las Vegas and get a good night's sleep is plan the next trip. And for years, for the first 5 or 10 years that I went to Vegas, it was a yearly event. It was almost always March, April, depending upon when our store did its inventory, because you were kind of prevented from taking vacation time leading up to that. But right afterwards, no problem. So that a lot of times typically was in mid-April. So a lot of my trips were in April. As I got a little more financially successful, I was able to go twice a year. And then typically once was in the spring, and then once would be in the fall, September, October, that sort of range. And in the final years that I was going, a lot of times I was going 3 times a year. Once in the spring, or, sort of a lot of times January. I did a number of January trips, and then sometime in maybe May, and then again in the fall around my birthday. So, but then it was always just a matter of getting the days off and, pulling the money together to go. But now it's more about, can we arrange it so I'm not totally abandoning my wife here with our son. To stop the camera there, I'll take a little break. Had some people dropping their kids off from school. Which brings us back to our kid. Like I said, I don't like just sort of abandoning my wife here to take care of my child all by herself for several days. It's kind of a 2-person operation to do it right. And I know there's lots of single parents out there, but even with living here in the same town as some of my relatives, it's not much of a support system at this point anyway. So what we've done in the past and what we're doing this time is her mom likes to come visit from time to time, see her grandson, and so she's coming up again for a few days, and so that way the wife is not stuck here by herself with the little boy. And so this is actually going to be the second trip this year, which is kind of pushing it. I feel grateful if I can get away once a year, honestly, but this will be a couple of times. But I always like to make sure that she's got a little bit of a support system around here. Otherwise, little boy gets to be a handful, gets to be pretty stressful after a while. Although she and Iz did really well when I was in Lincoln recently for a couple of nights. So sometimes I think he acts up less when Dad is not around. He likes to make more of a show of itself. But yeah, so that's always a part of it. I usually always look at things like airfare, hotel rates, for a certain sort of date range that seems reasonable. And if I see what seem to be, I guess, say some softer spots in the schedule where I can get a good deal on both. Then I'll request some time off, get that approved, and once that's in place, then I can look at booking hotel and flight, and then seeing if everything's going to work out as far as child care arrangements, etc. As I think I mentioned last week or a couple weeks ago when we did the show, flying right here out of Grand Island on Allegiant, and the base airfare during the week, they have basically 2 flights a week. They fly out on Sunday and Thursday, and of course come back the same day. It's the same plane, I'm sure. So the Sunday to Thursday flights are notoriously cheap, and it was less than $100 round trip. But of course there's a lot of little fees since I wanted to do carry on a bag, seat assignment, and also they offered a kind of trip protection thing. If I had to change the flight, I could do that without losing my my money. So, but it was less than $200 round trip, which is absolutely crazy. I think I've paid $500-600 recently in the last couple of years for flights out of Kansas City or Omaha. So that part's nice, and literally the airport's 15 minutes away, so should work out well there. But yeah, I mean that's kind of how I put it together. I usually try to look for good times, good deals, good prices, get those times reserved off, and then book those things, hopefully with the opportunity to cancel or reschedule if I need to. What do I look for in terms of rooms? Well, in this case, I actually had been getting emails from a host of sorts at Caesars, so I reached out to them and said, hey, what can you do for me? And so they initially had offered me a room at the Link, which is where I stayed when I was there in March. And I said, hey, can you do something at Planet Hollywood? Because I knew that Mark was going to be staying at Planet Hollywood as well. And so he was able to, book that for me as well with a fair amount of free play, which I thought was great. But normally I'll look and see if there's any hotels where I can, upgrade to a bigger room or a mini suite or something. And if I see that, I'll typically jump on that. I've stayed at all the Caesars properties multiple times, so there's no great win in that. Planet Hollywood is one of my favorite spots to stay and play, so I'm looking forward to that. But and the same thing with MGM. I'll look to see what rooms are available at what properties, and typically go for what seems like, say, the newest room, the biggest room, leaning towards the properties that I like the most. And even though Excalibur is not a property I like the most, Mark's going to be staying at Luxor that night. We're going to be down on that end of the Strip, and it did mention the room was remodeled and had a refrigerator, which I like. I like to, stash some beverages, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, for my amusement. So hopefully that'll be fun. I'll have $100 worth of food to use up. So I'm thinking about hitting up the buffet on Monday. So that should be good. But but yeah, I'm always looking, like I said, for the best deal, which isn't necessarily always the cheapest, but a place I want to stay, a nice looking room, and so forth. But so anyway, my still getting over my cold. Unfortunately, Mom and little boy are still a little coughy, but so don't get a cold this time of year. It's bad. I guess it was a cold. Who knows? But anyway, so I'm going to wrap this up. It's probably a good over 10 minutes long today. If you managed to hang out, you heard the plane in the background. And we'll continue to update you with more Vegas information, let you know what's going on here around the house, probably next week. And we'll definitely do a full Vegas Vegas preview when I know a little bit more about any activities. I do know my friends Carson and Ashley from Vegas Legacy are going to be in town during a similar time, so I'm sure I'll spend a little time, at least some time, with those folks. And hey, if you're going to be in town, the 13th through the or 12th through the 16th of October. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know, and we'll share a drink. Well, we'll probably each get our own. All right. Till next time, I hope you have a great, lucky, and healthy week, and we'll talk to y'all again real soon. Bye-bye.